And we are live on another edition of the K and K Sports Show, February, is it 19th? 19th, 2025. Where is the time gone? Little smaller panel tonight. It's not us four, but it is us four. Because backstage we have our one and only producer, Mr. Graham. What's up, Graham? How are you?
How's it going, guys? Now, Kurt, I saw a picture on Facebook today. Isn't Bo adorable?
You know what? Bo's getting a little bigger, Graham. Bo's getting.
Wait, we're talking about Bo Valenti, the puppy, not Bo Nix,
Graham, listen,
the quarterback.
He actually fit into a extra small sweater today. Extra small.
Love it.
So he's doing good. I'm going to be honest. He doesn't know his name yet. Great. Like we haven't worked on that with him yet. He's still young, but he has to know it by football season, Graham, because when football season starts, he's got to be ready to go. But Graham, thank you for joining us tonight. You are the man. Appreciate you always with us. And
glad to be here.
No Carson shared tonight. Had something coming up with
his friends are in town. Friends are in town, so he's got the night off. Absolutely.
But who doesn't have the night off is Mr. Paul Rosen. And Mr. Rosen, I saw rumors today again, Matthew Stafford. I saw mock drafts with Shador Sanders. So you guys are a big story this offseason. We're going to talk about it, but it's going to be an exciting offseason for those New York Football Giants, Mr. Rosen.
As Kenny and I have said, the draft starts at pick number 3, but we'll get into that. Anyway, good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Graham. Great to be here. We miss you, Carson. Sorry you're not here tonight. A lot of things on the show tonight. And I also saw that picture of Bo, and my response was well-dressed Amani Toomer.
Yeah.
So
I got to give you credit.
Adorable.
It took Jen. I mean, listen, this dog bites everything. So as soon as Jen put it on him, he's trying to bite it off. It's just, but Jen got it on him. He's been doing good. He still hasn't gone outside, guys, because the weather here is crazy. And, Jen doesn't want it to be like his worst experience outside.
Yeah.
So she was off.
And plus the rock star.
Yeah, the rock star. So she was off this week from school, but this is going to be a wash. She's going to shoot for spring break, which is Easter week.
Makes sense.
So, to do that. Couple comments real quick, Kenny, before I get to you. Mr. Ernie, go Broncos country only. Let's go. Let's go. And he's saying draft cards.
Yeah, Kurt, real quick, Ernie, Kurt will be doing his Broncos show with his wife, Jen, tomorrow night. Kurt, do you have a time yet?
I'm not sure. I will let you know. I'm going to decide on that. I will decide on that.
Okay. Well, we'll have a show tomorrow night, Broncos. Tonight's our, K and K Sports Show, Mr. Mays. But Kurt, we were talking about it yesterday. You and Keith mentioned it yesterday. You and Ernie, you might have to have like a Zoom Bronco when the Broncos play the Chiefs next year. You guys might have to do a show on.
Let's go.
You guys are two.
Let's go, baby. I love it. I love Ernie's. I love Ernie's enthusiasm and passion. Let's go. Another comment. Our good friend Roy Osborne. Good evening, guys. Just wanted to drop in and say hello. And talking about great friends, there's two more. Mr. Jay Cook. Good evening, gentlemen. What's going on, Jay? By the way, Paul Rosen, I'm going to give you 10 seconds for this. Did you see today's breaking news that the Pittsburgh Steelers might be interested in who as their quarterback?
I saw that.
We got this coming up in the question.
I wonder
we save it for Jay. We'll save it for Jay.
And our great friend, Albert Knoppers. Have an excellent show, guys. What's up, Albert?
Hey, Albert.
And we forgot one major one there. Everybody's friend,
Mr.
Michael Ronquillo.
Hi, Kurt, Kenny, Paul, and of course he says hi, Grant. What is up, Mr. Ronquillo?
Everybody's friend, Michael Ronquillo, supports all the shows. We love everybody out there.
And Mr. Kirkpatrick, what is your opening statement?
My opening statement is lots of things to talk about. You know, again, like everybody said, Bo, the puppy, looked very dapper in that sweater. It looked like he belonged. And now we got a fun-filled sports show. Football, baseball's coming around the corner, but we got NHL as well. We're going to start it off with a little football, though, if you guys are ready. I got a little football one around the league for you guys. So you don't have to be a Giants fan. You don't have to be a Broncos fan. You don't have to be a Steelers fan for this. This is around the league, guys, and I got 5 questions for you. Not necessarily quick hitters, but, you know, shortened segment because we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. So, Kurt, I'll go to you first on the first one. Give me a team, AFC or NFC, that made the playoffs this year that you think is going to miss them next year.
Washington Commanders.
Reason?
I just think they played over their head. And I think teams. I think you know what? I think teams are going to catch up with Jalen Daniels.
Fair enough, Paul.
I had them on my list, but I will go in a different direction. I think the Minnesota Vikings will not make the playoffs next year. I don't think they're going to sign Sam Darnold. I think they want to go with J.J. McCarthy, and as we've seen most of the time with rookie quarterbacks, you sort of take a step back and not be as competitive maybe. Obviously, the Commanders did, but that was a unique situation. So I will say the Vikings will not make the playoffs next year in a very competitive NFC North.
Ernie saying the Chiefs. Let's go, Ernie. Let's go. Brandon Hallam saying the Steelers. That's a good one. And Graham is saying the Rams for me. There's Mr. Moncrief. Evening, boys. $50 million in cap. Weapons coming for Knicks. Let's go. The cap went up.
Hey, Jody.
Let's go, baby.
Bronco fans.
Yeah, they're all coming out of the woodwork
Jody,
tonight.
One of the co-hosts there at the Denver Bronco Roundup with myself, Keith Brugman, and Trevor Salzman. They'll be on Friday. Keith and Trevor will be on Friday night doing some Broncos stuff. You guys hit all of them. I might go different route. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know they're in a weaker division, but I could see the Falcons. And that's going to lead to my next question, so I just spoiled it right there. Team that'll make the playoffs that missed it this year. I'm going to go Falcons. I think they got money. They're going to get some edge rush help. They're going to help build the defense a little bit. Penix has some weapons to throw the ball to. Bijan Robinson. Give me the Falcons to make the playoffs next year. Paul.
All right. Well, I'll stay with the NFC North. And listen, they're going all in with this guy, bringing in Ben Johnson. So I'm going to say the Chicago Bears. I think if he can't get the best out of Caleb Williams next year, then something's wrong, and they made a big mistake. So I think the Bears will make the playoffs, as I said just a moment ago, in the competitive NFC North.
And talking about great people, there's Mr. Patrick saying aloha, boys. And again,
hey, Patrick,
the most generous person on all of our shows. Patrick, what is going on? And again, he's the man. So hello, Patrick. There's Graham saying Raiders. Kidding. Brandon saying Bucks might fix up their defense faster than the Falcons. Mr.
I just don't like with my reason for the Bucks. They lost their offensive coordinator. Godwin may or may not come back. I just do you believe in Todd Bowles? I don't.
In Todd, we trust.
That was my take on that.
I got one. Yeah. Can I get one? I'm going NFC West.
NFL,
I'm taking the top 3 coach in the NFL. I'm sorry, Kyle Shanahan. And you know what? Something still tells me Number 8's going to be behind that offensive line, Kenny. I'm telling you. You know what?
Could be.
Why not? I mean, listen, I'm putting Aaron Rodgers behind before I pay Brock Purdy $60 million. I'm sorry. I'm doing it. And listen, Niners, McCaffrey, Debo's probably going to be gone, but you still got Ayuk, you still got Kittle. You're going to have a great run game with Shanahan. Defense will be, listen, Salah with running that defense. I'm going to take the Niners there.
I got a couple more, and I got a bonus one that I just thought of off my head because we do have some Bronco fans in the audience tonight. So next one real quick. Go to Paul first on this one. Which new head coach, Paul, has the best chance to succeed year one like Dan Quinn did?
Yeah, I sort of gave it away with the Bears being successful, making the playoffs. So I'm going to go with Ben Johnson.
Good popular pick there. Kurt, you agree, or are you going somewhere else? I'm going
somewhere else. I mean, I'm going to come back to this, and I'm going to say the New York Jets. I don't think the Jets are going to go with a rookie quarterback. I think the Jets are going to have, again, I heard they might be in on Stafford today, right? I mean, Aaron Glenn, again, this team, you still have Garrett Wilson. You're still going to have Breece Hall. You still got a lot of defensive pieces. I'm going to go with the Jets.
Huh.
I'll give you guys one. Okay.
Carson's about to join us.
Patriots. I'm going to go with the Patriots. Over $100 million to spend. They bring in Mike Vrabel. They're going to get Drake May a couple weapons. Add the number 4 pick in the draft. Not saying they're going to make the playoffs, but success for that team would be an 8 or 9 win season, and I could see it. I could see it with the Patriots with all that money they have to spend. We want to get into. I see Jody's got a question and Brandon's got a comment.
Okay, Brandon's saying Rodgers needs to go to the Vikings, so the prophecy is completed. Yep, follow Favre with that thing.
Oh yeah.
And Jody's saying, when does Geno move off? I'm sorry, when does Seattle move off Geno? Kenny?
They should this year.
I will.
There's a guy, I'll give you my bonus question now that you said that, okay? I was on Keith, we were on Bronco Roundup yesterday. Then Nick Shook, I think his name is, ranked 59 quarterbacks. Ranked Bo Nix 20th out of 32. Jaden Daniels was ranked 5. But here's the kicker. Geno was ranked 12. Bryce Young, 16, Kurt. What do you got to say?
He should never be able to post anything on social media. I mean, you joking?
And Dak Prescott, 19 above Bo Nix with 8 games played. I got
based on what? What was his criteria for this list?
He probably needed viewers, so he probably wanted to get some people
irritated,
to stir up. Yeah. So. And there he is.
Hey, what's up, guys?
There he is.
How you guys doing?
Better late than never.
Exactly. Yeah, sorry. No, I thought I had plans tonight, but then things happened, schedule changed, so I'm here now. So what's up, everybody?
I know. We're sloppy seconds. We understand, Carson. We've been there, done that. So
what's going on? How you guys
awesome that you're here.
And Kenny, there's Ernie saying Nick Shook is a joke.
Yeah, I was just doing a bonus question, Carson. NFL, this guy, Nick Shook, a writer for NFL.com, ranked his quarterbacks, 59 of them. Bo Nix was ranked 20th. Wow. Some other names that on top of my head, Jaden Daniels was ranked 5. Wow. Mahomes was ranked 7. And then the 3 kickers, 12 was Geno Smith, 16 was Bryce Young, 19 was Dak Prescott, 8 games over Bo Nix, who had 30 touchdowns and 12.
That's crazy. Wow.
I think I just said he needed some viewers, so he's got some people to.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. All right, guys, I got a couple more questions. These are quick ones. Kurt, who's going to be the Giants quarterback week 1 next year?
Shedeur Sanders.
Paul?
You want to save me for last?
I'll save you for last. Go ahead. Carson,
Sam Darnold.
All right, I'll go next. I'll be different. I'm going to go Russell Wilson.
Paul. I'm going to go with Chad Hall's brother-in-law, Matthew Stafford, whose brother-in-law is now the assistant or some type quarterback coach of the New York Football Giants.
Jody's saying Cam Ward. Graham is saying Drew Lock. Well, I'm going to go to Graham on this one from Patrick. Real quick, Graham. Do the Broncos keep Cortland Sutton or do they use the cap to retool? What do you think, Graham? Did I lose Graham?
No, I'm on mute.
Okay, sorry. Okay. What do you think?
I think that they're going to keep him.
Me too. Me too.
I agree, Patrick. One more for Jay. I'll give the Steelers quarterback, Kurt. We'll go to the same question. Steelers quarterback week one.
Tough.
For Jay, our Steeler fan out there.
That is tough. Wow. I'm gonna say Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold.
Okay, Paul.
With all due respect to my astute colleague to my left on the screen, I am going to go with Aaron Rodgers. I think those are the odds right now, but I think he may want to go to Pittsburgh. One last shot at a Super Bowl.
Nice. And
I think they're going to ride it out with Fields for another season.
That's a possibility. I'll give you a long shot. Kirk Cousins.
Nice.
I could see him fitting in over there in Pittsburgh. All right, that was a little NFL around the NFL. Going to get right into the next sport and topic of the night. Graham, it's funny. USA versus Canada, Battle of the Four Nations. Graham, for those who don't know, is up in Canada. He's our enemy tonight for this segment, and the four of us in the States. Jay's having some issues with his phone. Okay, no problem, Jay. Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. It's going to be interesting who goes to the Steelers. But Battle of the Four Nations, guys. USA versus Canada. It's an exhibition, but these players have been showing their passion. And Graham's going to be in the background answering some questions that I have for you guys with the help of Graham. He came up with some of these, influenced me on these questions for it. So the first one, Kurt, I'll go to you first on the first one. You going to be watching
1,000%.
Tomorrow?
Absolutely.
Paul? For sure, 100%.
Nice. And I know I'll be having it on my phone next to me. I'll be working tomorrow night, but I will be keeping an eye out for it.
After you concentrate on work, you're going to have to.
Yes, of course. Of course.
The patience comes second.
Couple of comments real quick. There's Trevor Salzman, Denver Bronco Roundup. Hey, guys, I hope you are doing well and
Trevor.
staying warm. We're trying to stay warm. Graham saying the Four Nations is the best. Patrick is saying hockey should unite us, not divide us.
Well, the 51st state.
Yep.
There you go.
All right. So now that we're all watching or listening, Paul, do you like the 4-team format or would you expand it?
No,
it's USA, Canada, Finland.
I like it the way it is. Keep it 4 teams, short, sweet. The more you expand it, I mean, we've seen it with it's not March Madness. It's not any other. 4 teams, perfect. I wouldn't do anything more than that.
Okay, like the.
Yeah, I'm with Paul. I think you just keep it short and sweet at 4. If you were to expand it, I would not go past maybe 8. I think 8 would be the absolute max. Maybe 6, a couple other teams. But yeah, I like Paul's thoughts. Just keep it at 4.
Yep, I agree. Then you start watering it down, right? Then it's going to be you're taking guys off. I like it. I think it's perfect.
I'm with you guys. This is like an all-star roster for each of these countries. You start bringing all the countries into it, you're going to be picking guys off from the that aren't all-stars and further down the line, backup goalies and stuff like that, like we see in the Olympics, you know. So I agree with you guys there. Carson, the next one I have, do you think performances in these games should be looked at from future Hall of Famers? Do you think these performances in these games from future Hall of Famers should be looked at, or is it just an exhibition and leave it out of
I think it definitely should count for their resume. I think Hall of Fame is more towards what they did in the NHL. This is just kind of like a bonus trophy, you know, something, a side quest, if you will. But I still think it'll matter, especially for their heritage and where they're from. But not as much as if it's like a Stanley Cup or something.
Ernie
Kurt.
saying, I need Broncos talk. See you tomorrow, Kurt.
Yeah, right, Ernie.
Graham saying it will definitely be important for Hall of Fame consideration. Yeah, I agree with Graham too, and I agree with Carson. You know, I don't think it's going to matter, like you're saying, with like Hall of Fame and not Hall of Fame, but like, you know, here's your records with the NHL. Like you're saying, like that's different. But I think it is going to matter, and Carson nailed it, right? I mean, as much as you say like Hall of Fame, I mean, you know, you look at like the Olympics and stuff like that. When you win for your country, honestly, I think that's more important than, especially for like other countries than here. Like, I think that's more important than getting in the Hall of Fame. I think it's, you know, like you're a hero in your country. So I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with both Kurt and Carson. I mean, if Chris Kreider from the Rangers scores the winning goal in overtime, he will be remembered as, you know, the man that scored the winning goal in this Four Nations series. I mean, he'll always be remembered for that for the rest of his life. He may not get to the Hall of Fame, but he'll always be known as the guy who scored that winning goal. You know, almost like if you're a Ranger fan, and I don't know if Joey Clams is watching tonight. Matteau is, he'll be remembered for the next 100 years as Ranger fans. So, yeah.
Yep. Next one I have, Kurt. I'll go to you first. Anything that you would change about this tournament?
I'll be honest. I love the way it is. No. Think about it. How many people are anticipating tomorrow that, like you're saying, like you're going to watch that game? I mean, the ratings, I think, are going to be crazy tomorrow night. So, no.
Graham's comment, Kurt, if you want to put that up. And, Graham talked to me about this.
The biggest issue that has happened with the Four Nations is their way of handling injuries.
Yeah, so apparently, and Graham, correct me if I'm wrong, I remember you saying that player got injured, they're flying the next guy on a plane, and he thinks the rosters should be expanded a little more, is what I'm understanding, is what we talked about a little bit yesterday. So the roster expansion, a couple more players, maybe alternates, go to the games instead of flying them overnight to the game.
Makes sense.
So that's what he would do.
I don't know. I know this year they're in Boston and in Montreal. I don't know if they would be rotating, but imagine next year in New York and Madison Square Garden, having this in the Garden and maybe in Toronto. So you keep both Canada and New York or United States. That would be phenomenal. So I would just rotate the cities on a continuing basis.
I would change that one little minor tweak there, Paul, because it's the Battle of Four Nations. Maybe Sweden and Finland get to host.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah, that's the only thing I would tweak with that. Carson, I like that.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you guys. I think that the Kachuk brothers, what happened with everybody booing each other's national anthems, because it's USA versus Canada, it's like, who is the reigning king of hockey? I think if it was Finland or Sweden instead, I think it would have bring the ratings down a little bit. But because of that incident a couple days ago, everybody's going to be watching this game because it's more of a prideful thing for their country. So, yeah, I wouldn't change it, but it'll be interesting to see what happens next year.
Kenny.
Kurt, I got one more hockey question. I see the comments coming up, but I'll let you get the hockey comments in, and then we'll answer Patrick's question. I got one more.
All right. Trevor's saying the NHL has done a great job moving on from the old the old All-Star game format and having something meaningful. The NBA and NFL need to seriously look into improving like this too. Absolutely, 100%.
Segue right into my last question, but Graham's question, Graham explaining it a little more.
Yeah, the player who flies in an emergency only plays if the injured guy cannot go.
Yeah, I still think, like Graham's saying, like, have alternates, couple expanded roster spots, I think would be beneficial. But they'll fix it because they're doing it the right way. And then the last question, and then we'll get to Patrick's question. The effort and passion from these players are incredible. Paul, what can the NFL do to come closer to that effort from its players?
Nothing. And you may think that's crazy, but you know why? NHL players are a different breed than any other athlete, and when they're playing for their pride, for their particular country, they're playing just for the pride of representing their country. The only thing that NFL players are playing for is the pride of their pocketbook, and it's sad to say that, but I don't think anything would change because, unfortunately, football isn't an international sport, so it's American football. You know, it's unlike the World Cup where obviously soccer is the whole world. So you can expand that to have pride throughout the whole world. But for American football players, I don't care how much you want to pay them. They may not play any harder than what these guys are doing just for the pride of representing their countries.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough to disagree with you there, Paul. That was well said.
Thank
you.
Well, I completely disagree with Paul. No, I'm just kidding. No, Paul.
Wait, Lawrence Taylor, isn't it? No, I'm just...
Right, exactly. No, Paul nailed it. Like I said, they're after their money and their checks, and like I said, football is primarily United States, so it'd be hard to expand. I know they're doing like their overseas international games in like Germany and Brazil and what have you, but it's going to be hard to top. Like Paul said, hockey players are a different breed.
Kurt,
it's again the only way you're going to do it is for money, right? I mean, if you put a humongous amount of money in front of them to play a game and win a game, but I don't know. It's never going to happen, you know, like it's never going to happen for the All-Star, for like a Pro Bowl, you know, it's just, you know, who doesn't want to play, who's not. I mean, look, how many people like turned down, Bo Nix turned down like everyone's turning down a Pro Bowl spot. So you know, it's really not worth it when you think about it. Like there's like you're saying, the hockey thing is it's US, you're playing for your country. I don't think they can ever do anything. I don't.
Well done, guys. And I don't think I need to ask us for who we're rooting for tomorrow. We have one person backstage that's going to be against us. And obviously Graham from Canada, he's going to be rooting for his Canadian team. So good luck to you, Graham, tomorrow. And good luck to the USA. You know, well done, guys. We don't do much hockey on here, and that was fun doing that tonight. So,
Graham saying 4 Avalanche players on Team Canada.
There you go.
Wow,
nice.
Let's get Patrick's question.
Patrick, back to the NFL before you finish. Rodgers to the Raiders or San Francisco?
Who are you going with on that?
Frisco.
No, I'm saying who are you calling us all out on it?
I'll go around real quick. Rapid fire. Carson.
Yeah, he would be a 49er if he had a chance. He grew up a 49er fan. Won last year. He would go to San Fran.
Kenny.
I might go Raiders. I'm not out of the question here. Pete Carroll's going to want a veteran quarterback over there. So, you know, they have some money to spend. I think he's there to, you know, get that team back on track sooner than later. 73 years old.
Jody's saying Raiders. Paul.
Within those two teams, I'm going to go 49ers. I think Rodgers just wants to prove he's got it. He wants to have an opportunity to win one more championship to add to his legacy. So between those teams, I think the 49ers would be the choice.
Awesome. Anything else hockey? Graham, anything backstage hockey-wise you want that we missed? Now's the time.
No, I think we're good.
We're good? Awesome. Great job, guys.
Fun segment.
Graham, again,
thanks, Graham.
Thank you for the influence on those questions for me for the hockey there. I'm going to pass it up to Paul for a little Major League Baseball. We're going all around the major sports tonight, so we're going to switch it up to baseball.
Thanks, Kenny. Yeah, so
now,
spring training has started this week, and all teams have reported, and so I have a sort of a preview spring training questions and start of baseball. So I'll go, Kurt. I'm going to ask you Met questions. I know you're not really have a baseball team, but so let's start off. I'll go Carson, Kenny, Kurt. Carson, the Tigers will make the playoffs if.
Oh man, I think you got to win the AL Central this year. Yeah, you got to be not at least 90 wins. I think is the magic number. 90 wins.
Nice, Kenny. The Yankees will make the playoffs
if pitching stays healthy.
Fair enough. Kurt, the Mets will make the playoffs if
they could find 2 reliable starting pitchers.
Agreed. Stay healthy. I agree. All right. Carson, team you're most concerned about in your division?
I'm going to go with Cleveland again. They're just coming off an ALCS appearance. They got a nice core and roster over there, so I would still say Cleveland.
Kenny, the American League East have made a lot of teams have improved. So which team is you're concerned about the most?
Red Sox. Garrett Crochet and now Bregman. I know Devers is causing some. That's my spot. This and that. But when all's said and done, these guys are going to get along, and that's going to be a dangerous lineup.
Yeah, agree. And Kurt, what team do you think the Mets should be concerned about again?
I mean, you got to go Atlanta, right? I mean, listen, they beat Philly. So Atlanta's just a thorn in their side. They just always have that issue with Atlanta. So I'm going to say until they could beat Atlanta, I'm going to go Atlanta.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay. One player, Carson, you expect will exceed the back of that baseball card this year?
Wow. That's man. I'm gonna say Torres, Gleyber Torres.
Nice, good pickup. And Kenny, which Yankee will exceed the back of their baseball card this year?
You know who I think's going to do good, Paul? I think he's going to have a fountain of youth type of season. Paul Goldschmidt.
Nice. Yeah, you need production from first base this year. Kurt, which Met do you think will exceed their? I have someone, but let's see if you.
You know what? I'm going to say Pete Alonso. I think a lot of people are down on him, and it took him longer to sign, and all this, and he's going to be upset. I mean, what's he upset about? I think he's going to be more of like an FU to everybody. And listen, he's going to hit behind Soto, right? I mean, Soto is going to be in front of him. I'm going to say Alonso. I think he is where he wants to be. I think he's going to have a little chip on his shoulder. And, I think he knows listen, home run record, right? He's going to try to break that this year. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Winning a championship with the Mets is more iconic than a lot of things. So I'm going to go and say Pete Alonso.
Yeah, well, I said. Oh, sorry, Kenny.
No. Finish what you got. Then I got one from Jody that's really good for the Yankees.
Okay. So. Yeah, I also said Pete Alonso. Listen, he signed a 2-year contract. He can opt out after the first year. He's going to have a prove it year, and if he doesn't, he's going to really find him really behind the 8 ball again. So if he doesn't prove it this year and come out with his maybe arguably his best year since his rookie year, then something's terribly wrong with him. Go ahead, Kenny.
Jody's going DJ LeMahieu. I like that. That's good.
Yeah,
that's a good pick there, Jody. Hey, he doesn't have to do much to exceed his expectations. So
right.
Yeah, but he's got to stay healthy, of course.
Yeah, of course.
All right, Carson. who would be your surprise player on your team in this year?
I'm going to go with Kerry Carpenter. I think he's going to rise. His stock's going to rise crazy this year.
Okay. One player on the Yankees, Kenny. Who do you think will be a surprise that you're...
My surprise, and he'll be an all-star this year, Austin Wells.
Nice. And Kurt, which Met do you think will be a surprise this year?
Well, I'm just going to go by a tweet I saw the other day. It was very simple. Acuna better than Jeff McNeil. I'm going to say Acuna. I think, they put a lot of stock into him, and I think this kid's going to get a legit chance to play. I do.
Yeah, I think they're going to give him every opportunity. I said Clay Holmes. I think that was a sneaky signing by the Mets. They're going to start him, and if he can be healthy, I think he can be a really, really superior signing. We'll see, but that's my surprise. A player on your team, Carson, with the most to prove in spring training?
Spencer Torkelson by far. He was the number 1 overall pick a couple years ago. He's been horrendous at the plate. I need to see a huge improvement from him this year.
Okay, nice. Yankee, Kenny, Yankee player who's going to have to prove.
Jody said exceed expectations. DJ LeMahieu is going to have to prove it in spring training. Because if he doesn't, he may even just not even make the team.
And Kurt, which Met do you think has a prove it spring training?
I think Jeff McNeil is under the gun because I think, like they're saying, they're going to push Acuna. I mean, I'm going to go with him. Think about it. A couple of years. When did he win the batting title? What was it? A couple years ago. Couple years ago. And listen, he did not have a good season last year. And so I'll say McNeil for the Mets.
Yeah, you will look it over my notes because I had McNeil also. Had a horrible first half of the year, came back a little bit, then got hit by a pitch and was out until the very end of the playoffs. Yeah, with Acuna playing as well as he did, and they've even put Brett Beatty over at second base. Yeah, so there's a lot of competition. I hope he comes back because if he's batting low in the order this year, he can give them a really, really good bat, 6th, 7th, 8th in the lineup, which would really extend the lineup. So we'll see what happens. Okay, it's always next man up, and obviously you don't want your players to be injured. But Carson, which player could you not afford to be out an extended period of time or even out the whole season after an injury?
Yeah, it's got to be Tarek Skubal. Just won the Cy Young, by far best player on our team. We can't afford to lose Tarek.
Kenny, which Yankee?
Got to go the same route. Got to go with the ace. Can't lose Garrett Cole again this year.
And Kurt?
I'm going to go a little different. I'm going to go on the back end and Edwin Diaz. You've seen, listen, the Mets have had bullpen problems, and Diaz, last year was, very shaky, but, with him there, I just think he gives that, he has that like bravado, the music and all that stuff. And I'm going to say Diaz, because if they don't have him, they're going to scramble. Now they're shaky, 7th and 8th inning guys or closers. I just think when they have Diaz, that solidifies it in a big game. Hey, you have to get 4 outs, 5 outs, 6 outs. You go to him. I'll say Diaz.
Yeah, no, that was a good pick. I said Francisco Lindor because I know even though he was out toward the end of last year with that back injury and Acuna filled in, but if he was out 2-3 months, that would be a tremendous hit on the Mets, because they really don't have any other shortstop that could really play consistent. So, but no, Diaz, I don't disagree at all. That was a good choice. Last question, Carson, player that you think might have a disappointing season?
I'm going to say maybe Matt Vierling. He's been kind of right field, third base this year. Came on strong towards the playoffs last year, so he might have a downfall year.
Kenny?
Paul, please repeat the question. I got a little
a Yankee player who might have a disappointing season.
Disappointing season. I'm not going to say Aaron Judge because he's Mr. April. So I'm going to go. I could see, you know who I could see struggling a little bit? Cody Bellinger. I hope I'm wrong, but I could see him struggling in New York a little bit.
Okay, nice. Kurt, what Met could you see struggling or having a disappointing season?
See, I'm gonna say like Senga, right? Because I think people think like he's like gonna be Garrett Cole, you know, like, and I don't think the Mets need him to be that, but I think people think like, oh my God, he's a legit number one ace, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, so I'm going to say it like that. I don't think he's going to have a bad season, but I think like to some people, they're going to think like, oh, he didn't win 20 games. You know,
Right.
like I don't, you know, oh, he's, I don't think he's that kind of pitcher. And the Mets don't need him to be that kind of pitcher. But
Yeah.
I'm going to say just from the statistical part of, oh, wait, he's not an all-star. He's not in the conversation for Cy Young. Like, I just think people got to be realistic. He's not that kind of pitcher yet. And that's okay for this team. It's okay.
Mhm.
But I'm just going to say it, put it in that sense of terms, if that makes any sense to you.
Yeah, no, it does. I'm going to say, as hard as it is to say this, I'm going to say Mark Vientos. I mean, he came on, he was unbelievable. Obviously, at the playoffs, he was probably the Mets' best player. But you know what? Somehow, National League teams, pitchers find ways to get guys out, and somehow I think they're going to catch up to him a little bit. So he may not have the season that he caught everyone by surprise. So he may have a struggle in his second full season. So those are my questions for baseball and early spring training, and let's move on.
Nice,
Love
Paul.
it, Paul. It was good.
Thanks.
segment. Yeah, we're gonna move on. We got about 15 minutes left. Kurt's St. John's got a big one tonight. If they're in DePaul, if they should hopefully beat them, but we're gonna get off by 9 o'clock.
By the way, Paul and Carson and Graham, one of my Christmas presents from Jenny Hoops. We got tickets to UConn St. John's on Sunday, so we'll be at the Garden at 12.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So,
that's great.
And for Valentine's Day, she got me semifinal tickets to the Big East tournament. So they better win that first round.
I want to know something. Wait a minute. She's giving you all these presents. What are you giving her?
Oh, she got great presents, but I'm saying I got her a third band for the wedding band. Oh,
okay.
I got her.
All right.
That's the 10-year anniversary band. I got it to her for 6.
All right. Nice. All right. You're clear.
Just to defend myself on that.
Right.
Good job, Kurt. Good job. All right, we got one more segment. I saved this one because we didn't know if Carson was going to be on with us tonight. So we're going to go to Carson's Corner, a little NBA talk, and we got some good topics for you all for NBA.
Yeah, thanks, Kenny. Yeah, I'm glad I was able to do this segment for you guys tonight. So a couple questions. Get your guys' quick thoughts on this. The NBA All-Star weekend was happening this past Saturday and Sunday. You had the dunk contest, the 3-point championship, and then obviously the All-Star game. So really quickly, Mac McClung, he did win the dunk contest. That is 3 years in a row for him. He is a G League player that has won this event. And the dunks that, I don't know if you guys saw, he was jumping over a car. He dunked 2 basketballs at once. It's really creative. Put on a great show. So he won the dunk contest. So rapid fire, do you think Mac McClung is one of the greatest dunkers of all time? Paul?
I will put him 3, Michael Jordan 2, and my all-time favorite, Julius Dr. J. Irving, is number 1 for me.
Nice. Kenny?
He's up there. He's up there for sure. Dominique was good. Vince Carter. Kurt, who's the guy who jumped over Frederick Weiss?
That's Vince Carter.
Yeah, Vince, right?
Yeah.
For those who don't know Frederick Weiss, that was probably our greatest.
You had to bring him up, Kenny.
You know who they drafted him over too, right, Kenny?
Who'd they draft over, Kurt? Remind everybody.
St. John's alum. Who?
Yeah.
Ron Artest.
Ron Artest. Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's up there, Carson. Top 3, top 5 for sure.
Nice. Kurt?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, honestly, I think he's the best dunker since Vince Carter. And I think what the nice thing is, like, he does these creative dunks. You know, like the one the other day, what might have been the most impressive is when he jumps over and grabs the ball, hits the rim, and then dunks it. I mean, how many people could do that? Like it's crazy. I think it helps he's a little shorter too, so like he gets the elevation, but he's very creative. Very creative.
Carson, I guess white man can jump.
Right. There you go. Exactly. So yeah, that was fun. It's good to see it. You know, the dunk contest used to be this classic event. It was kind of watered down the past couple of years. But again, like any person that can put on a show, it doesn't necessarily have to be an NBA player. You know, I know they did a couple experiments with like the slam dunk king contest. There was a TV show where they invited like all the greatest dunkers from around the world. And they put on a show. So that's what the fans want to see.
Yes.
You know, so invite all the greatest dunkers and put it on a dunk contest, even if it's the NBA. That's what the fans want. So
can I throw in one other name?
Yeah.
A Nick all-time favorite, Nate Robinson.
There you go. Yeah, he's a 3-time champ as well. Definitely.
By the way, congratulations to him. You see, he got a kidney transplant.
I read that too. Thank you, Kurt.
Nice. Really quickly, guys, your thoughts on LeBron James sitting out this All-Star game. He made his 21st All-Star appearance. 20th All-Star game selection, was going for his 21st straight start in his NBA career, which, by the way, that is pretty damn impressive. But he had an injury, and there is a famous photograph that is circling around online right now where he had all of the stars in Team Shaq's lineup, and everybody was in uniform except LeBron James. So do you think that's a huge deal? Do you think he could have maybe put on his uniform for the picture? Do you think it's kind of making it more about himself than anything else? Big deal, not big deal? LeBron sitting out, huge deal, yes or no? Kurt.
You really want to ask me on this? I mean, the guy's such a phony and fraud. Like, listen, you don't want to play. Like, all right, like just like that stunt that he pulled. Like, do we need to see that? Put your uniform. Put your uniform. It's like he's got to be different. Like, just I'm saying, I've had such enough of his garbage. This second half, you'll see something. He can't do this with the Lakers. He's going to hold them hostage. I'm so over him, seriously. And you know what? Shut your mouth on China and politics too. He hasn't said anything. Shut your mouth. Just play basketball and win. You're never in Jordan's category in league. I don't know how much more you want me to say, but just fraud.
Fair enough. Paul.
I'm surprised he didn't designate Bronny to take his place on the All-Star team.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, I mean, Kurt said it all. Let's put it that way. I can't say anything more than what Kurt would have said. Enough said.
Kenny.
Real quick, Trevor's catching up on the surprise players for our teams. Tigers, Jackson Jobe. Mets, Ryan Stanek. Yankees, Jason Dominguez. Good names there, Trevor.
Nice. Good job,
Preach,
Trevor.
Kurt. Preach, Kurt.
Yeah.
Return the belt, and Brunel saying hello.
What's up?
Brunel. Kenny, your thoughts on LeBron opting out?
Like Kurt said, fraud. You know, you take away, you know, a young all-star that's having a young player who could be on an all-star team, taking that away from him. That may not get that opportunity again, you know. Just some names that come to mind, like Lonzo Ball having, LaMelo Ball having a year, 28, averaging 28, got left off the All-Star game. Maybe he should have been there if LeBron don't want to play. LeBron can go to the Super Bowl and hang out. That's what he wants to do at the All-Star game, just hang out. You know, we talked about it earlier with the hockey, how much passion these guys have in these exhibitions. The NFL, NBA, they don't care. they're just out there to egos, and that's it. You know, and I'm gonna sit and I'm not gonna put a uniform on. It's a joke. You're supposed to be the face of the league. If he wasn't the face of the league, Carson, I wouldn't have as much an issue. But you're the face of the league, and that's how you represent the league. Unacceptable.
For sure. Yeah, no, we can go on and on about LeBron James and all of his nonsense that he's pulled. Definitely, I will give him his flowers. What he's doing at his age, consistency is key. One of the greatest ever, but like Kurt said, and we can spend hours and hours and hours on this. I just watched the Last Dance documentary again about the 90s Bulls, and Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time. Last final thought, guys, going into the All-Star game, Draymond Green, he was on Inside the NBA. And they were asking him his thoughts on this new All-Star game format, and he called it garbage, trash, 0 out of 10. There's a potential opportunity brewing that Adam Silver's throwing out an idea of a potential 1v1 tournament to add to All-Star Weekend. Would you guys be a fan of seeing a 1v1 tournament in the All-Star game? Paul?
You said a 1v1. What is that? I don't even know what that is.
One-on-one. So
one-on-one
versus you. First to 10 points wins, and then they move to the next round.
I mean, Kenny and I spoke about this. Carson, you hit the nail on the head, especially seeing what's going on with the hockey exhibition games. Mm-hmm. You said U.S. or North America versus the world or Europe or whatever, however you want to. That would be the classic game. That would be you hit the nail on that a year ago, and why they don't consider doing that is beyond my understanding. Mm-hmm. This is all crap. I mean, if I think the first time no one disagrees with Draymond Green, which is shocking, but he's right. He's right. It's a horrible all-star situation, and they've got to improve it. And I think that would be the only way that they would improve it. Maybe there would be some pride at that point.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I agree, Paul. Kurt, really quick thoughts on this?
You know what? I've said it. I've heard it. Carson, you've said it. That's what I want to see. I want to see USA versus the world, because I'll tell you why. Luka Doncic, Jokic,
Giannis,
Wembanyama. Those guys will come here, and this is sad to say as an American, but they will come and they will look to embarrass the USA. And you know what? You're not going to that USA team, you better pick it smart, because if you want to win and not be embarrassed, that team is going to try to embarrass you. And you know what? It's what I want to see, because that's what I want to see. You know what? You want to have Steph Curry chewing the mouthpiece. You know what? Go out there, and when it's the world, 108 to 60, and you look stupid, you know what? Didn't we almost see that in the Olympics? They luckily won the Olympics. So that's what I want to see. I think everybody wants to see it.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, alluding to what Paul said, Kenny was also in on this a couple years ago, a USA versus world type of game instead of the All-Star game. I mean, for God's sakes, we were having Mr. Beast commercials. They had fishing gear on, and I think they had more advertisements and pauses in the game. And there was a moment where you could see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the screen, like, okay, come on, let's speed this up. What are we doing here? Let's play basketball. That's what we're here to do, not stand around. And Kevin Hart had way too much time on the microphone, by the way. So,
well, SGA is what is he, Canadian, right?
He's also Canadian, so he's be on the world team.
He would be on the world.
Yeah, Kenny, really quick thoughts.
The one-on-one, Carson, I think I would like that. But it's got to be my suggestion for it would be have 5 different matchups. But I want it to be rookies. Like I want the top 2 point guards at the All-Star break. Rookies get to face off against each other.
Yeah, but you know what though, Kenny? This is the problem. That's fine, but I want to see all-stars. Like, you don't play in the all-star unless you're in the, I want to see LeBron and KD one-on-one. I don't want to see Bronny and
no.
Jericho Sims.
I'm saying add a one-on-one to All-Star Weekend.
No, but I'm saying I want to see those guys. I want to see the stars. It's got to be the
top-ranked rookie versus the second-best rookie.
Right, but I'm saying put LeBron and KD one-on-one. That's what I want to see. Not LeBron sitting in a jean
LeBron
jacket.
Won't even sit up for 5-on-5. You think he's going to do one-on-one?
Right. I mean, how hard will they play even on one-on-one, though? How hard will they really?
Rookies,
you're right.
Exactly. But yeah, just kind of agreeing with all of you guys. If you guys want to go back and watch, I mean, you guys saw it. 80s and 90s NBA All-Star games with Bird and Magic and Jordan. Those guys were competing. Bragging rights were on the line. Those guys went balls to the wall. Now it's like jacking up threes from half court, barely trying on defense. So that is why the NBA is dying right now. There needs to be a lack of competitiveness back, not just in the playoffs, but in the regular season as well, because that's what the NBA is really lacking. Oh, my elbow hurts. Let's sit for 50 games, load management.
Carson.
Make millions of dollars. Yeah.
Do you think Michael Jordan on an all-star team would allow his team to lose? No freaking way. No way. So, you're going to play on the East team, and he's not going to play hard and have all the rest of his players not playing hard.
Yeah.
No way that'll ever happen.
There's
Exactly.
your USA versus world, Carson, one-on-one.
Yeah.
So Jalen Brunson for the U.S. against Luka Doncic for the world, one-on-one.
There you go. And in the basketball world, one-on-one's a huge deal. Like everybody's saying, who would win one-on-one? That's a big bragging rights deal. So if they want to implement that, I'm all for that. Because then you really see who's the best one-on-one. But yeah, that's my thoughts, guys, on the NBA. We can move on.
Guys, real quick, our good friend Manny DeLima. Good evening, fellas. What's up?
Hey, Manny.
DeLima?
Patrick got a comment there, Kurt. A big compliment for everybody. I'm going to put it up on the screen there.
All right. Aloha and
I think it's mahalo. If we say that right?
For everything you boys do for us viewers. Thank you, Kurt, for allowing me to appear on your show. Now, Patrick was a great guest on the Broncos show. He was awesome.
And Trevor also responded.
Patrick is the best, and Lion Coffee is the best. Aloha, Patrick. Absolutely. Guys, real quick, I want to do one rapid fire. Would you do this? I heard this. I think it was this morning I heard it. Sam Darnold, the Minnesota Vikings, should franchise him and trade him. Yes or no, Kenny? Get something for him. And because think about it, J.J. McCarthy makes no money, so there's your quarterback. There's your money with the quarterback. So
and you can still bring back Daniel Jones if you want.
Right. I mean, but think about it. Then you trade him. Now, hey, you trade him to Pittsburgh. Like we're saying, we're throwing teams out. You get a number one for Sam Darnold. Someone's going to be desperate for that.
Sure. There's teams out there that are desperate. That's not out of the question. That's not bad.
Why lose?
Good idea.
Why lose them for nothing?
Yeah. That's a good idea. All right, boys. I think we're up. Anything else you guys want to get? We'll get some closing thoughts in, Kurt. Your Johnny's got a big one coming up.
Closing thoughts. I'm excited. March Madness. We're going to be doing our March Madness pool, obviously, with Carson's going to set the March Madness side up. We do our own. We're going to do a little different this year. We do all the conference tournaments. I'm excited to do that. But I'm ready to go, man. St. John's, Knicks. Hey, football season, free agency starts in a couple weeks, but I'm ready to go. I'm all in on these hoops. Let's go. Let's get this garden rocking. Let's go. Graham, thank you so much for doing everything you always do for us backstage. And guys, it was great. Carson, thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Great to be everybody back. And we'll see you guys next week. Mr. Carson Shear.
Yeah, great show as always, boys. Happy to chime in a little late on the show tonight, but glad to always talk sports with you all. Graham does a great job behind the scenes. Good luck tomorrow, Graham. USA versus Canada. It's going to be must-see TV. And, like Kurt said, a month away from March Madness, greatest time in all sports, and have a good rest of your week, guys.
Carson, let everybody know about the Carson Shear Show, what you got going on over there.
Yeah, Carson Shear Show. If you guys are on TikTok and YouTube, I just basically break down what's happening in sports, mostly Detroit sport related, but anything big, major news that happens in the world of sports, we'll be giving my reactions and thoughts on as well. I'll be doing a bunch of March Madness stuff. Anytime an upset happens, I'll give my thoughts on that. Carson Shear Show on YouTube and TikTok.
Mr. Rosen.
Great show, guys. Graham, thank you. That was a great segment. The hockey, good luck tomorrow. Not too much luck. Good luck for the United States. Carson, glad you jumped on. I will say the next 2 weeks I will be gone. Luby and I have a well-deserved vacation.
Nice.
We will be on our cruise and then staying in Florida when we get back for a little bit to visit friends. So I'll be missing you guys very much over the next 2 weeks, but we'll be back just in time for March Madness.
Yes, sir. Love it. And last but not least, the one, the only Mr. Kirkpatrick.
Thank you, Kurt. I'm going to read Trevor's comment about I like this, about the basketball, Carson. Make it the world versus USA. Whoever wins gets home court advantage in the finals.
Yeah.
Stats matter. Whoever wins MVP of the game, their team gets home court advantage. Money isn't enough, it seems like.
I like that.
Interesting. Yeah.
I like that. I want to get that up there. Now, Paul, you and Luby, enjoy your time, your cruise in Florida. You'll be missed, but I know you'll be having fun on that cruise. Have a drink for us around 8 p.m., 8:30 p.m. next week. Have a drink for us, and we'll be thinking of you. No, well-deserved vacation for you both.
Thank you.
Audience, you guys were great. Carson, awesome that you came on. Loved it. We'll see everyone next Wednesday, and we'll have another fun-filled show for everybody. Kurt, you're doing Broncos show tomorrow.
Tomorrow night. Yep, at some point tomorrow night.
Go to St. John's for Kurt.
Let's go,
Yeah.
baby. Let's go. Have a good night.
Good luck.
See you
Good night,
guys.
everybody.